Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Inspired to Resign Your Weekly Wisdom. I am Tammy Jaffe, your host, helping you go from employees to entrepreneurs without all the headaches. And I am excited to have with us today Kyle Holton, and she is going to be talking to us about the three money pillars of getting more money. How many of you want some more money in your business? Give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, give me some money signs in the chat. How many of you are wanting to get more money in your business? Because I know it can be a struggle sometimes when you're starting your business. It can be like getting to that point where you can consistently have that money coming in. So I am so glad that Lisa is here with us today and is going to be sharing some of her tips and things that I've worked with for her. And I'll share some things that I've done as well that have been working for me, because we are all about sharing and telling you guys how to do it better. So let me tell you a little bit about Lisa before we get started. Lisa is a health, money, mindset, and business coach, helping build your dream life of happiness, abundance, and freedom. She helps entrepreneurs go from lack mindset of a life of divine abundance by helping you step into your dream life. How many of you guys have been dreaming about that life you want to create? She is the host of the High Vibe Money Tribe podcast, and I am excited to have her with us today. So Lisa, tell us a little bit how you got started in this.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here and chat about the money pillars. But how I got started in this actually was I have a health and fitness background. So I am a person or have been a personal trainer for about 13 years. I owned a brick and mortar gym for 5 years. And so during that time, I coached a lot on fitness, nutrition. I also coached other business owners on social media and business coaching. When I transitioned out of my gym in June of 2020, I decided to bring my love of money and nutrition to the online space. So for about a year now, I have been online coaching with health and wealth.
Health and wealth, they go hand in hand.
They do, yes.
Absolutely. So, how can someone that's, coming from that lack mindset go to the abundance mindset?
Yes. So I think the first thing you have to realize is if you are in a lack mindset, you have to recognize you're in that mindset and that you don't want to be there anymore. And so once you make that choice that you don't want to stay in that lack mindset, that's when you need to start visualizing what it is that you want. Is it a certain dollar number you want? Is it a certain amount of clients that you want? What is it that you want your life to look like? Because when I say I help you, get more money and get more freedom, that looks different to everyone. For someone that might be, I want to work 40 hours a week because I love that and that's my job or it's my business and I truly want to do that. And for someone else, it might be, I only want 5 clients a month and I want to have a lot of free time to do whatever I want. So really narrowing down what that means to you.
Awesome. I love that because, and I talk about this in the book I wrote that, it starts with that decision, right? The decision that you actually have to recognize you're in that place. Then you've
Yes.
got to decide that you want to change it in order to make that transition. So as it all comes down to making that decision, getting the clarity of what it is you really want in order to move forward. But some people might be like, well, why is it so important to go from that lack to abundance mindset? What do you say to people who are like in that place? And, I've talked to some people recently who, they kind of like their minimalist lifestyle and kind of in some ways, like we may look at it as like you're struggling every day to figure out how you're going to get that coming in. But why is it so important for them to go from that lack mindset to the abundance mindset?
Yeah, so I think an abundance mindset just means that you're open for growth and you're open for more. So it doesn't mean you have to acquire more things necessarily, but maybe for you, you want to acquire more experiences. So, for example, a lot of my clients love to travel. So we talk a lot about how you can either save money or spend money on travel. And then what does that look like for you? So when you are looking at how do I want to live my best life, well, what are those experiences that you want to have? Maybe, yeah, maybe you don't want like a lot of things, so to speak, but maybe you do want all those experiences. Maybe you want to backpack through Europe, or maybe you want to be able to, you know, I don't know, put your kids in a private school or something like that. So what are those experiences that you want, and being open to growing and getting there.
Yeah, and I love how you said that it's, you've got to figure out what's right for you, right? What do you want? I mean, I love travel. Everyone knows I love travel. I'm
Me too.
the next month going to Costa Rica, hopefully Puerto Vallarta, so doing some retreats. And that's one of the things that's always like high on my list. But for everybody, it's different. Everybody
Mhm.
has different desires, different things that they want. And so, getting clear on what that is for you and not trying to be necessarily what everyone else is, but
Yes,
knowing that core of what's really going to help you grow. So
exactly.
you talk about the three money pillars. Tell us what those are.
Yes. So the three money pillars is basically a way to prioritize your money with a more abundance mindset. So if you're looking at like how much money you have left at the end of the month after you've paid your bills, so even if it's no money, you have to visualize the money that you do want. And then you're going to pick three things that you want to either spend that extra money on or save that extra money for. So, for example, a lot of people pick travel.
Mhm.
A lot of my clients pick saving and getting out of credit card debt. But it's always that third one that is very individualized to each person. So maybe the third one for you is remodeling your home. Maybe the third one for you is you want to expand your business into a bigger space, so you need to save money for a down payment. But what the three money pillars will do once you've picked your three, you then look back at your budget and you're going to go through everything you spend money on and you're going to run them through your three pillars. Does my budget fit these three pillars? So, for example, if you're looking at your personal life and you're spending $250 a month on all these streaming services to watch TV, but watching TV isn't one of your three pillars, is there a way you can maybe remove one or two of those streaming services so that you can still get the satisfaction of the TV shows you want,
Mhm.
but you're still either spending or saving money on one of those three pillars that are more important to you?
Yeah, I love taking a look at that from a higher level and really
Mhm.
anchoring it in each month as you're going through, like, where is my income coming from? How do I then take that and spend it?
Yes.
And I know for me, one of the things that's always made a huge difference is setting those specific goals. Like
Mhm.
when I'm like, okay, I need X amount for, this, family vacation we want, or
Mhm.
I need X amount to pay off something that I'm investing in, um, it's when I'm really specific about what I want and how I want it, I bring those two things to fruition. And
Yes.
so knowing that there's times when we forget to actually stop and say, okay, what is it I really want? Right.
Mhm.
And where do you see people struggling with the most who aren't getting into that abundance mindset? Where do you see them kind of getting pushed back, or where do they fall back into their old habits?
Yeah, so if you don't have like your three pillars or your three priorities of how you want to save or spend your money,
Mhm.
what tends to happen is people always think they don't have enough money because you're only seeing your money go out. And then you tend to spend it on things that aren't a priority to you, or that maybe you feel like are a priority to you at that time, like Starbucks cup of coffee. But in reality, you could have drank a regular, cup of coffee for, you know, 80 cents or something instead of spending
Yeah.
the $5 on a cup of coffee, because you maybe really want to backpack through Europe. So what happens is if you don't have the pillars in place to help you prioritize your spending and your saving, people tend to just spend, and then at the end of the month they continue to say, I don't have enough money, or I can't do the things I want to do because the money's not there, and it's because you're spending without thinking.
Yes, and that happens so often. 'Cause I think especially when you get to a certain comfort level
Mm-hmm.
with your spending, you just spend without thinking. Like it just
Yes.
happens. Things are on auto pay. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of it just kind of happens. And when we don't put a little bit of thought and effort towards it, it has its own has its own mind, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. So with going from this lag mentality to I mean, I think there's this other part of, I work with a lot of people who are coming from a corporate job and they're making a lot of money. And then they're starting a business and feeling like they're starting over. And
Mhm.
so you go from this, place of feeling like there's security, that you have this income coming every month. I mean, I was this way when I was in corporate. I was like,
Mhm.
everything was on auto pay. I didn't really worry about things. I knew I could do so many trips a year. I didn't have to budget as much as I had when I was first starting out. And then going to becoming an entrepreneur where it's like, okay, every dollar counts when you're first starting, right? Every
Yeah.
dollar counts. Where is it going? How is it allocated? What are you doing with
Mhm.
it? And so, what would you share as maybe a tip for those people that are making that transition to try to stay in that abundance mode?
Yeah, so when you make that transition, you first do need to decide what in my life is okay that I maybe cut out or reduce, and what will I absolutely not cut out because it will, maybe like take something away from me, so to speak. So, for an example, going back to the streaming service, like as an entrepreneur, you do need to hustle a little bit more in the beginning and you do need to work a little bit more. So, honestly, you're probably not going to have time to watch 5 hours of TV a night. So, probably can reduce some of those streaming services you have. So then you can free up some of that money. But maybe you're someone who's like, I have to go on at least one vacation a year. Okay, well, then instead of going on four, you can go on the one and you can save some of that money from like the streaming services to do that. Okay. You also have to realize that when you start as an entrepreneur, that has to be your motivation to create money and to get the clients. So
Mhm.
when you feel yourself slipping into lack mindset, and we all do as entrepreneurs because we are mainly by ourselves and we're working by ourselves and we're creating content, and you might think, oh, I don't know if this is working, people aren't buying it, I don't know what to do. You have to remind yourself of your goal. Why did you want to do this? Why did you want to start this business? What was your reason for leaving corporate America? And that has to be your driving force, and that has to be in the forefront of your mind all the time, because that will help keep you open to abundance mindset, and it will help remind you why you did the thing you did.
Yes, that
Mhm.
anchor, coming back to the why.
Yep.
And it's key for so many things, right? The money
Mhm.
mindset, it's key for you keeping you on track in your business. And there's so many pieces of knowing why you're really going after this. So
Yes.
you can have that drive. I
Mhm.
know I always like to set very specific goals. And one of the things I share was, when I was leaving corporate, um, I was going through my coaching certification, starting my business on the side, and I set a very, very specific goal of what I wanted to make in my bonus the next year. And it was something dramatically higher than anything I had ever gotten. It was not a given. This was like, a big stretch. And I'm like, if I get that number, then I know it's time for me to leave my job. And as I got closer, every day I'd like walk into the office and I would start thinking about, like, okay, I could be like dragging myself in, not wanting to be there, right? But instead I'm like,
Mhm.
this is the day I'm going to resign. And I started thinking about the day
Mhm.
that I was going to be able to turn in my resignation, thinking about that moment when I was going to be walking in for my last day and how excited I was going to be, because I knew that meant that I was going full time into my business and doing something that I really loved. And the day came where I got my bonus and it was exactly the number I had set. Like not even
That's
a dollar
awesome.
more or a dollar less, like just ridiculously the exact same number. And I'm like, I could have made excuses even if I had gotten more, because I could have been like, well, maybe I should stay another year because if I
Mhm.
get that, like maybe I can get more. And so I think it's so critical for people when you're thinking about that money mindset and what you want to do, set those goals,
Mhm.
stretch yourself and be able to put yourself in that mindset of, okay, this is how I'm going to create that. And for me, that was, this is going to give me some, security while I get my business started, knowing that I had that income coming in from that bonus. And so for you, it might be something different. It may be
Mhm.
looking at, how many clients does that mean I need to get this month? How many people do I need to talk to this month in order to make that happen? How do I get in front of the right audiences? And so asking yourself better questions sometimes can even
Mhm.
just shift that energy.
Yes. Love that. Mhm.
Yeah. So I know you have a special gift to share with our audience as well that's going to really help them going forward. So what is that?
Yes, it is the 3 steps to creating your abundance. So the link will be below, so you can click on that to get that worksheet. And it really does go into those questions you can ask yourself so that you can start opening up to that more abundant mindset and figuring out what that means to you, because it might not mean money to you. It might mean something else to you. Abundance can mean anything to anyone. So it's just figuring out what that means to you.
Love that. So go grab that absolutely free gift from Lisa. It's going to help you in so many ways to just think about this from a different perspective. What do you want? What do you really want? What does abundance look like for you? What does that mean to you? What do you want to create in your life over the next year? And so, my challenge for you guys know I have a challenge for you every day. So, every time we do this, my challenge for you is to stop for just 10 minutes today and say, what does abundance look like for me? What needs to shift in my life? What do I want to create over this next year, or even just to the end of this year? What do you want to create in your life? Do you want to take a trip? Do you want to, be able to pay off some things? Do you want to be able to put money towards your kids' college? What does that look like for you, and what's going to get you excited to go out and do the things that you need to do to help you get into that place of having abundance coming into your life every day?
I love that.
Thank you, Lisa. This has been so much fun. Thank you for being on with us today.
Thanks so much for having me. And I would love to hear what abundance means to you guys. So if you want to pop it below in the comments, then Tammy and I can chat about that with you.
Yes, if put in what abundance means to you, because it does have a different meaning to
Mhm.
different people. So after you've reflected, said what it means, say what you want to create, go tell us in the comments. We want to hear it, we want to see it, so we can support you in getting there. But if you guys have questions as well, go put them in the chat. We'll come back and take a look at your questions and get back to those as well. But it has been great being here with you all today. Go out and have an abundant day, and we will see you next week.